Hello underwater friends. Today we're going to talk about the Mini Flash 2 by Backscatter, also known as MF2. It's the flash that is replacing the MF1, of course, and it's quite nice. It has a 1000 lumen focus light and it can flash strong enough even though it's very small. You can also add a great accessory, which is a snoot, that allows you to flash only on the subject and get the background black. Well, it's a new tool that will bring your photo to a next level. So first you attach it to the arm of your housing and then you connect the fiber optic and you're ready to go. This flash have many modes unlike the first model. So the first thing you can do is have a TTL with all the Olympus cameras. It can also be used as a remote flash, and there is also an accessory that will trigger the flash even if there is just a little bit light that comes in. So you can trigger two flashes at the same time, or even with an extra accessory, just one, the remote one. Like this you have more flexibility and you can light the subject from the front, from the back, both of them, or just one of them. The trigger flash can be darkened, and like this only the back one will be used. When you put on the manual mode, the first flash will be a test trigger and it will understand how the flash triggers, if there is a pre-flash or not. And then this will be in memory, so the next flash you're going to take are just going to be right. There is also a high-speed sync that is available for Olympus cameras and also all of the cameras that have SSC capability. The test mode will allow you to trigger the flash, so you can use it, for example, if you want to do light painting or other things like this. This mode as well can be very useful in case of a problem, because by pressing a second time, you can have a trigger that will flash every few seconds, and if you need rescue or something like this, the light will flash very long time and it's going to make it much easier for the rescue to find you. The flash can be used three different ways. One of the methods can be to have a spotter, like we do in proof diving. You can find us with the link in the description. And with us, you have a private spotter. So after the spotter finds you the nice subject, he can hold the snoot for you and make it super easy to take pictures. But the good thing with this flash is that it's not so heavy. So you can also attach it to your camera, find the right position, and then trigger it by taking normally your pictures. One final way, and the one I liked with bigger subject, was to hold it in one of my hands and hold the camera with the other one. Like this, I could point it right in the direction I wanted and make nice compositions. One of the great advantages of this flash is that the focus light is very powerful. Actually, it's two focus lights that are on both sides of the flash, and total it brings you 1000 lumen. The great thing of having it on both sides of the light of the strobe is that when you see where the focus light is lighting, it's going to be exactly where your flash is lighting. So even using the snoot, you have no problem to aim at the right position. It's also very powerful, so it makes it super easy when you make your composition. So even if you put the aperture card, that will get the light smaller for the snoot, but it will also get the light smaller for the focus light. So whether you use the oval one or the round one, it will still be right in the spot where the trigger will flash. In other terms, what you see is what you get. So what you see with the focus light will be what you get with the flash. The power adjustment button will allow you to choose from 7 different power of flash, which is really nice because it will bring you a lot of flexibility. So depending on your camera distance, the settings you want to do, the camera itself, you can choose between 1 that is going to make a little light to 7 that is going to be very powerful, and everything in between. So what you want to do is do a test shot and then review your picture. At this point you can decide if you want to make higher or lower. So if your subject is far or big, you want to put a higher number, and if it's a small nudie branch that is close to you, you're going to put a small number, because in general you want your strobe to be at the same distance from the camera than the lens from the subject. In general, you're going to use as a setting speed fast enough, like 1/125 or a little bit more, and also an aperture very closed, meaning a big number. For my camera, it's a f22, but for some compact can be f8, f11. The best way to make sure that your snoot is proper is to make sure that there is no ambient light getting in your picture. So what you want to do, you put your settings the way you want, and then you take one test shot without the strobe. If everything is black, that means no light gets in from the ambient light, and the only light is going to be from your snoot. So that's when you're going to have a very nice contrast between the black background and the lit subject. You have also two modes, the SC mode that is meant for big animals that are far away and that is quite powerful. And you also have the SC macro with a little flower next to it that will be for subjects that are smaller when your flash is closer. So they will be adjusted depending on your subject. But personally, I always prefer to do it on manual because the flexibility of the 7 options on power makes it super easy and very accurate. The battery is the 21700 that is quite powerful and allows you to have a focus light for probably 1 hour or maybe a little bit more, and to take many pictures and triggering the flash many times. Even though for me, I was always changing the battery after each dive because the time I tried to do 2 dives with one, it was not enough. Next to the button, there is a light with color, green or red, that will tell you how much battery you have. But the problem is, if you take many pictures, like we do here in Tulamben, it's going to be difficult to do 2 dives with one. So just change it after 1 dive, especially if you want to do a night dive like this, you're going to be sure everything is okay. So don't forget, a light that will be 1000 lumen with 1 battery inside will last no longer than 1 hour and probably even less. So this is very good as efficiency, but don't expect too much. And there is nothing worse than having a nice subject at the end of your second dive and not be able to shoot it because the strobe is off. Okay, so every dive, you change the battery. In conclusion, I think it's a great tool. Very light, very compact, very easy to use. You can use it fully with an assistant, but you can also make super nice pictures on your own. The focus light is powerful, and also it's pointing exactly where the flash is going to trigger. The strobe is powerful enough to make most of the pictures. So I think it's a really great tool. Like I say, the only thing that you need to be careful is try not to do too many dives. Actually, for me, not more than 1 with the battery, because you may run out. You can use it with a remote, so as a slave and a flash trigger, using 2 or just the backstrobe to make nice composition. So once again, a very nice tool. I hope you like this video. If you want to come dive with us in Bali, don't hesitate. There is a link in the description for proof diving. We can organize workshops, photography class, video class, and also just help you either as a safari or if you want to take nice photo and have a private spotter with you. Bye bye, see you next time. Happy bubbles!